not need to rely on concrete buildings.
Yes.
You do not need to rely on the sound of cars, excess fumes that are polluting the sky, narrowed river streams that are extracted by the government. I mean, if you live in the city and there's a river next to you, you have no access to that river.
No.
It belongs to the municipality. And also the fact that the same water that is extracted by the government is then put into labs and through machines, and then they
Put chemicals
to
make us sick. And then we pay.
Then you pay in the end. So there's a price for it. So it's different from how it is in the outskirts, which are areas that I think mean so much to all of us. I remember yesterday I was speaking to a colleague of mine about the fact that for some of us who come from, your former homelands,
Yes.
or your former Bandustan, areas, which are predominantly with villages and all these other, natural spaces,
Yes.
chiefdoms and so on, that have lesser, of the concrete space. Though things have changed now because people see any piece of land, they buy plots, as you mentioned,
Yes.
and then from the municipality, and then they start building. But then again, even then, that's on a very lesser scale compared to the cosmopolitan cities like Johannesburg and Cape Town and so on. So we were saying that it is an advantage to us coming from those areas, because whenever we need to distress, to reflect on our lives, to self-introspect on how the year was, or how we are progressing in life in general, we always go back to those areas, and we find them that the rivers there are only utilized by animals or by livestock.
Yes.
And of course,
and the water is cleaner and fresh.
Cleaner and fresh. If it's raining that side, the rain. If you taste rainwater, if you have a water tank in Johannesburg, the rain in Johannesburg is very, very it's full of chemicals. It's acidic on its own.
Yes.
But the rain near the ocean is fresher, and it's more habitable, and it speaks to the fact that even the water spirits that side are much more, approachable. They are much more cleaner and pleasant as well.
Yes.
And relatable. So it's different when you are in cities that have long been contaminated, and they are continuously being contaminated, and they are changing even the livelihoods of people. People get sick more in urban areas than they do in the villages. Especially after 1994, when they stopped that nonsense of sending nurses to schools only to inject children in schools.
Yes.
Only to slow them, slow their intelligentsia.
Yes.
As compared to white children who never received that medication. You see, and the fact that Americans in particular are obsessed with ingesting forcefully these
chemicals
in the bodies of Africans.
Yes.
It's actually it's disgusting, and it's very condescending, because again it's a pattern that was created decades ago, and to speak to the fact that the black body, the African body, doesn't matter whether young, old, newborn, or middle-aged, the body of the African seems to be a threat.
Yes.
To people that are not African, and I'm being specific in this instance. Yes, there will be arguments of that they are white Africans, which is something we're still questioning, by the way.
Yes.
But it doesn't speak to any authenticity in terms of your lineage. I'm specific in saying the black body, the African, whether you are darker than the others, as long as there is a trace of lineage to the land or in Africa, you are a threat to Americans, you're a threat to Europeans, you're a threat to Asians. yet you are a threat in your own land, in your own space.
Yes.
And these are people
They must come and inject you in your own space.
Inject you
under the guise of coming to assist.
Exactly.
Like Bill Gates said, he's got billions to. Why the obsession?
Why the obsession?
There's so much obsession. Yeah. Why don't they do it in Europe or in America, where they can invest their money back into their own people?
Exactly. So I mean, after all, they are billionaires. They are billionaires by extracting, resources in Africa.
Yes.
There's all economists often say that, for Europe to be this great, this majestic, their what do you call it? Their dynasties, their royal families, their government buildings, their political parties, their economy basically has been built at the back of Africa. So again, you make Africans sick by offering them jobs in mines. They go they go, I don't know,
underground, yes.
Underground, and then 10, 20 years, that person is sick, he's got silicosis, he's got arthritis. The mental state of miners, for instance, is not something that has been focused on. It's only nowadays that people, are very aware of mental health. So if you have an uncle who worked in the mines back in the day, if that person is still alive, their mental state is long gone. It's
absolutely
been dilapidated, destroyed, because you leave the earth above to go underneath and dig, gold that you'll never own, diamonds that you'll never own, platinum that you'll never own, even coal that you'll never own.
Absolutely.
You put these things in a machine. They are purified in Europe or Asia, and then they are sold back to you
in tenfold or something, or 20-fold.
And your government convinces you that every 5 years, when they want to stay in power, they convince you that no,
we will create
jobs. We will nationalize this. Now, imagine nothing is paid as a retribution to the people that lost their loved ones, not just in the anti-apartheid struggle, but also in jobs such as mining, in jobs such as domestic work. You have mothers who've worked for white families for over 30 years, and the only thing that they receive are scraps, things that are unwanted by the master and madam. And then they go live in the villages when they retire. After 5 years, they die. What purpose of life is that for an African? So
that's deep, man.
Yeah,
that's very deep. I think let's